Just off Africa's coast lies an island where the animals, the people, and even the language can make it feel like part of another world. Madagascar has been isolated for tens of millions of years. Time, threes, long enough for unique lemurs to evolve that live naturally nowhere else on Earth, alongside enormous baobab trees and communities whose ancestry carries traces from both Africa and Southeast Asia. As you travel deeper into the island, the unusual becomes even more striking, from dense tropical rainforests to ancestral rituals that outsiders rarely get the chance to witness. Time, threes. If you enjoy discovering extraordinary places like this, subscribe, hit the like button, and tell me in the comments where you are watching from. Now we begin our journey to Madagascar. Number 15. Madagascar, the island of 5 worlds. Just before dawn, on the eastern coast of Madagascar, the air carries the scent of damp earth and eucalyptus. From deep in the forest comes a strange sound, half like a whale and half like a wolf. It is the call of the Indri lemur. As a new day begins, time, three's a sign that you have entered a different world. Madagascar is the 4th largest island on Earth. Its area is close to the size of Texas, and it lies off the eastern coast of Africa, about 250 miles from the mainland, across the Mozambique Channel. Its coastline stretches for about 3,000 miles. Moving deeper inland, the landscape keeps changing. The east is covered in tropical rainforest. The central region rises into highlands about 4,500 feet above sea level, with red-roofed houses and terraced rice fields. The west opens into dry grassland, and the south becomes a semi-desert filled with a strange, spiny forest. Farther north, Maromokotro rises to more than 9,400 feet, while off the southwestern coast lies the Toliara coral reef. Madagascar has a dry season from April to October and a rainy season from November to March. February often brings cyclones, but at the right time, the island becomes spectacular. Time, threes. From July to September, humpback whales appear near Île Sainte-Marie. From October to December, whale sharks up to 40 feet long swim around Nosy Bay, while the call of the Indri echoes through the morning air. Number 14. Madagascar, ethnic groups, language, and ancestors. Madagascar is surprising not only because of its natural world, but also because of the people who live there. Around 30 million Malagasy people belong to 18 officially recognized ethnic groups, and their origins are far more complex than the island's geographic location might suggest. The coastal Sakalava show many African features. The Antemoro in the east carry traces of Arab ancestry, while the highland Merina share many characteristics with people from Southeast Asia. Even more fascinating, the Malagasy language does not belong to an African language family. Instead, it is part of the Austronesian language family, and one of its closest relatives is Ma'anyan, spoken in Borneo. This suggests that around 1,500 years ago, groups of people from Southeast Asia crossed thousands of miles over the Indian Ocean to reach this island. Time, thurs. In everyday life, an important concept is fihavanana, which expresses kinship, solidarity, and the responsibility to support one another, not only within the family but throughout the community. Looking back historically, Rana Valona I ruled Madagascar from 1828 to 1861 and kept the kingdom independent for most of her reign. Yet the deepest bond within Malagasy culture is the connection to their ancestors. They believe the Razana continue to watch over the living, while each village has its own fady, or traditional taboos. Breaking a fady may be seen as an offense against the ancestors' time faithrees, and this belief leads to a remarkable ritual that will appear later in our journey. Number 13. Madagascar, between the capital and the countryside. In Antananarivo, the capital that locals often shorten to Tana, The city spreads across 12 hills at an elevation of more than 4,000 feet. In the morning, mist drifts between the red-tiled rooftops. Soft light settles over the streets, and Analakali Market begins to come alive with simple breakfasts, such as rice with vegetables or mofo gassi rice cakes. Along the hillsides, the Isaraka district still preserves many balconies dating back to the French colonial era, with small cafes and flowering bougainvillea below. Near the city center, Lake Anosi stands out with its distinctive heart shape and rows of jacaranda trees that bloom purple in October. Tana does not run on an overly rigid schedule. Instead, it follows a rhythm that visitors gradually learn by watching the people around them. Leaving the capital, another side of Madagascar appears, as most Malagasy people still live in rural areas. Farther south, the Betsileo region is covered with terraced rice fields arranged along the mountain slopes. In places such as Betafo, Manandona, and Fianarantsoa, the day begins at 5 a.m. with cattle herders and rice farmers already at work. Many villages still lack electricity, so evenings are often filled only with conversation, the sound of valiha music, and a sky crowded with stars. People describe this pace of life as mora mora, meaning slow and unhurried. But the residents that have made Madagascar most famous are not human. Number 12. Madagascar, the world of 107 lemur species. When people mention Madagascar, lemurs are the island's true superstars. There are 107 species, and all of them live naturally only here. The smallest is Madame Berthe's mouse lemur, which weighs about 1 ounce and is smaller than a chicken egg. At the other extreme, the Indri can weigh around 20 pounds, stand nearly 2 feet tall, and produce calls that carry for more than a mile. Deep in the forests, ring-tailed lemurs stand out with their striped tails. Sifakas move with sideways jumps on 2 legs, and the nocturnal ai uses its very long middle finger to tap on tree trunks and search for insects. Most lemurs feed on fruit, leaves, and flowers, while some species also eat insects. Every morning, the Indri sings for about 90 seconds to mark its territory. One group begins, then other groups answer, until the whole forest sounds like a chorus. Behind that strange beauty, about 94% of lemur species are threatened with extinction. While Madagascar has already lost about 90% of its original forest, lemurs have become part of the country's identity and appear on money and postage stamps. The 2005 film Madagascar made them even more famous around the world. But more importantly, ecotourism built around lemurs is creating income for many villages and encouraging local people to protect animals that were once hunted. Number 11. Madagascar, when music connects Africa and Southeast Asia. Madagascar's music only truly makes sense when you look at the origins of the people who live there. The island's most iconic instrument is the valiha, a string instrument made from a bamboo tube with strings running lengthwise along its surface. When plucked, it produces a clear sound with a slightly metallic tone that still feels gentle and relaxing. What makes the valiha remarkable is that it did not originate in Africa. Instead, it is related to traditional instruments found in Southeast Asia, especially in Kalimantan and the Philippines. When its notes fill a small venue in Antananarivo, the sound also recalls the journey of seafaring people who reached Madagascar around 1,500 years ago. Along the coast, the rhythm changes completely. The Sakalava are famous for salegi, a fast and energetic style of music driven by electric guitars, accordions, and powerful percussion, often keeping performances going late into the night. Up in the highlands, another musical tradition appears through hiragasi, a form of folk theater featuring around 15 to 20 performers who sing, perform comedy, and use poetry and music to satirize issues from everyday life. Time: threes. Villagers spread out mats and sit together outdoors, turning each performance into a shared community gathering. These three styles may sound very different, but together they tell the story of a Madagascar, shaped by many layers of culture. Number 10. Madagascar. Foods that bring families together. Malagasy cuisine feels familiar, simple, and is often prepared for the whole family to share. One of its most representative dishes is romazava, a stew that once appeared on the tables of Marina kings. Zebu beef is slowly cooked with local greens, ginger, tomatoes, and onions, then served with hot white rice. It is not elaborate, but its rich flavor has made it a dish closely tied to everyday life. Another familiar dish is ravitoto, made from crushed cassava leaves cooked with pork. It has a richer, heavier flavor, and has been served at family meals from one generation to the next. Along the coast, akoho si voanio brings a different taste, with chicken slowly cooked in coconut milk, ginger, and garlic. Nosy B and Ile Sainte-Marie are especially known for this dish. At breakfast time, for only about 20 cents, you can buy mofo gassi, a sweet rice cake served hot, straight from an iron mold. Around 50 cents can buy koba ravina, a banana and peanut cake wrapped in banana leaves, while about $2 is enough for several skewers of zebu meat grilled over hot charcoal. From home-cooked stews to street food, Madagascar's cuisine is never flashy, but it feels warm, filling, and made for people to sit together and share a meal, reflecting the Malagasy spirit of togetherness. And if you want to keep traveling with me through unusual places, distinctive cultures, and stories that most of us have never heard before, hit subscribe right now. There are still so many places in the world waiting for us to explore together. Number 9. Madagascar, the Giants of Morondava. On an August afternoon, along the red dirt road outside Morondava, enormous baobab trees rise before you, some of them standing here for hundreds of years. Certain Adansonia grandidieri trees reach nearly 100 feet tall, with trunks so wide that even 5 adults would struggle to wrap their arms around them. Each tree can store up to about 32,000 gallons of water, almost as much as a backyard swimming pool. The oldest specimens may be approaching 2,000 years of age. Even more remarkable, of the 9 baobab species found worldwide, 6 grow in Madagascar, giving the island an unusually strong connection to these extraordinary trees. Malagasy people call the baobab Renala, meaning mother of the forest. In some communities, baobabs also carry deep spiritual meaning. In certain places, children who die at a very young age are laid to rest near or inside hollow trunks, with families believing that their ancestors will receive them. Not far away, 2 baobab trees intertwined with each other are known as baobab amuru. According to local legend, they were once 2 lovers whose families refused to let them be together, so they fled into the forest and became trees. As sunset falls, the sky turns orange, and the baobab trunks become enormous dark silhouettes against the horizon. It is the kind of moment that makes Morondava seem to need almost no explanation at all. Number 8. Madagascar, the sacred hill of Ambohimanga. About 13 miles northeast of Tana lies Ambohimanga, a hill the Malagasy call the Sacred Blue Mountain. It is Madagascar's only UNESCO Cultural World Heritage Site. But this place is far more than a ruin or a museum for visitors. Ambohimanga remains a living heritage site, where history and belief continue to be part of everyday life. Surrounding the hill are 7 massive stone gates. The main gate was once sealed with a rolling stone weighing about 12 tons, and several men were needed to push it into place every evening. Behind these walls, in 1788, King Ambohimanga began the process of unifying communities across the highlands. His Mahandri Palace still stands today. It is small, wooden, and surprisingly modest, yet from this place a kingdom gradually took shape and became the foundation of modern Madagascar. What keeps this place sacred even today is that pilgrims still come here to pray. You may see an elderly woman dressed in a white lamba slowly pouring rum onto the roots of a sacred fig tree. This is not a ritual staged for tourists, but a genuine act of faith that continues within a place the local people still regard as sacred. Number 7. Madagascar, a chorus in the Misty forest. Around 6 in the morning, after nearly 4 hours of driving east from Tana, the Ambohimanga rainforest is still wrapped in cool mist. The forest is almost silent until the first call of an indri echoes through the canopy. That sound can travel for about 1.5 miles. Then another indri answers from far away, followed by a third, then a fourth, until the entire forest seems to be singing together for around 90 seconds. In that moment, you almost do not want to move or say a single word. Naturalists have described this sound as the whale song of the forest because it is deep, powerful, and makes you feel incredibly small in the middle of nature. But Ambohimanga is home to much more than indri. High above, diademed sifakas leap through the treetops, while black and white ruffed lemurs quietly watch from branches overhead. Right in front of you, just a few inches away on a leaf, a Parsons chameleon may remain so perfectly still that you barely notice it. It is one of the heaviest chameleon species in the world, with some individuals weighing more than 1.5 pounds. In the morning mist, the calls of the indri and the creatures hidden among the leaves make this forest feel like a world completely separated from everything beyond it. Number 6. Madagascar, from whale sharks to humpback whales. Off the coast of Madagascar, 2 islands can make you feel as though you have entered completely different worlds. In the northwest lies Nosy Be, known locally as the Perfume Island because of its ylang-ylang fields, whose flowers are used to create fragrances such as Chanel No. 5. The coastline here is lined with emerald-colored water and white sand, while Andalana is one of the most famous beaches in the Indian Ocean region. From October to December, whale sharks appear in the shallow waters. These enormous animals, reaching up to 40 feet in length, can sometimes swim right beside visitors. To the east, Ile Sainte-Marie, also known as Nosy Boraha, tells a completely different story. During the 1600s and 1700s, the island became one of the best-known pirate refuges in the Indian Ocean. A pirate cemetery still remains here, with old gravestones and crossbone symbols that recall an era when pirate ships frequently sailed into these waters. When the season changes, from July to September, humpback whales arrive in the warm waters around the island to breed. From a small boat, you may see animals weighing around 40 tons rise from the ocean right beside you. A massive body suddenly emerging from the sea makes the moment feel both peaceful and overwhelming, and it is difficult to forget long after leaving the island. Number 5. Madagascar, the taboos of the Malagasy people. In Madagascar, there are rules that do not appear in written law, yet still have a powerful influence on the daily lives of more than 30 million people. They are known as fadi, an ancient system of taboos passed down from the ancestors. When entering a Malagasy village, you are also stepping into a place where beliefs about the dead remain present in everyday actions. You should not point directly at a stone tomb with one finger, because the gesture may be considered disrespectful to the spirits of the ancestors. If someone needs to indicate a direction, they will often bend their fingers and use the whole hand or a closed fist instead time. In some eastern regions, fady can be even stricter. In certain places, people avoid whistling because they fear it may attract harmful spirits, and some communities once regarded the birth of twins as a sign of misfortune. Even at the dining table, these taboos vary between ethnic groups and family lineages. Some communities avoid pork, while certain families do not eat zebu beef or eel. Breaking a fady, even by accident, may be believed to bring illness or misfortune by angering the ancestors ×3. For the Malagasy, however, fady is not simply about fear. It is also a way of showing respect for their origins and those who came before them. That is why, before visiting a village, it is important not only to know where you are going, but also to understand what must never be done there. Number 4. Madagascar, the island's most dangerous landscape. At Tsingy de Bemaraha, Madagascar's natural forces have created a landscape that seems to challenge the very rules of survival. The Malagasy call this place Tsingy, meaning a place where you cannot walk barefoot. Before you stretches a vast sea of gray stone, where thousands of sharp limestone towers rise toward the sky like blades. After millions of years of erosion by rainwater, these formations have become a dense maze, where a single careless step can leave you injured. Time, 3s. Yet within this harsh stone landscape, life continues in remarkable ways. Deep below, in dark ravines and narrow canyons, patches of green forest survive, providing a home for sifaka lemurs that move with quick leaps between rocky ledges and tree branches. From a distance, they can look as if they are dancing across a landscape filled with stone blades. To venture deeper, visitors must clip into safety cables, cross suspension bridges, swaying above deep chasms, and squeeze through narrow rock passages, barely wide enough for one person time. 3s. Every section of the route forces you to watch each step carefully and maintain your balance among the sharp limestone points. Tsingy de Bemaraha is not a place for an easy walk. Its razor-edged cliffs, deep drops, and narrow passages have made it one of Madagascar's wildest, most surreal, and most unforgettable landscapes. Number 3. Madagascar, the traveler's tree. Deep within the forests, the ravinala stands out with enormous leaves spreading like a perfectly balanced fan against the sky. The Malagasy call it the traveler's tree, and over many generations, ravinala has become one of Madagascar's most recognizable symbols. Its image appears in national emblems and is closely connected to the identity of the island. But this unusual name comes from the tree's ability to hold water. Inside its large leaf bases, rainwater can collect after heavy showers. For travelers moving through hot and humid forests, this stored water was once considered a valuable source of relief when no other water could be found nearby. By opening or piercing the part of the plant where water had gathered, liquid could flow out and help ease their thirst. Beyond helping people, ravinala also provides habitat for many animals. Its tall leaves offer shelter, while its nectar-rich flowers attract wildlife searching for food, including black lemurs that help with pollination. Ravinala therefore has value far beyond its appearance. It shows how a single plant can support people while also sustaining the life around it. For the Malagasy, it represents protection, hospitality, and the connection between people and the natural world of Madagascar. Number 2. Madagascar, a creature that looks like science fiction. Deep in the rainforest, the Madagascar streaked tenrec appears with such a strange appearance that it almost looks like a creature from a science fiction movie. Its small body is covered with striking black and yellow spines, giving it an appearance somewhat like a giant bee. But its most remarkable feature is the way it communicates. When night falls, the streaked tenrec does not rely only on sounds from its throat. Along its back is a specialized group of spines, and when it needs to warn of danger or locate other members of its species, these spines vibrate and rub rapidly against one another. Time: threes. The result is a series of high-frequency clicking sounds, creating a rare form of spine-based communication among mammals. This signaling method allows the animal to communicate through dense forest, even when individuals cannot see one another. In the dark forest, its tiny body almost becomes a living transmitter, using its own spines to send information through layers of thick vegetation. The streaked tenrec does not glow, and it does not need a large body to attract attention. Time: threes. Its unusual vibrations and distinctive spines are enough to make it a remarkable example of how life has adapted on Madagascar. And once again, this isolated island shows just how unusual evolution can become when nature is given enough time to follow its own path. Number 1. Madagascar, the legend of the man-eating tree. In the late 19th century, Western newspapers spread a terrifying story about Madagascar. Deep in the rainforest, there was supposedly a giant man-eating tree. According to the sensational accounts of the time, the tree had long, snake-like tendrils that could wrap tightly around a person and devour the victim within minutes' time. The story quickly made Madagascar seem like a mysterious land, where even the most unbelievable things might be possible. But the truth was completely different. There is no evidence that such a tree ever existed, and the stories about human sacrifice rituals surrounding it were simply products of imagination and sensational journalism. Madagascar does have many insect-eating plants, including pitcher plants and several smaller carnivorous species. They use sweet nectar to attract and trap insects, but they are completely incapable of harming humans. Although only a legend, the story of the man-eating tree survived for many years and reveals how Madagascar was once viewed by the outside world as an island so unfamiliar that it was difficult to separate fact from fantasy. That sense of mystery allowed even the wildest stories to be accepted as real by many people, making Madagascar seem even stranger in the imagination of an entire era. Leaving Madagascar, what stays with you is not only the sight of enormous baobab trees, the calls of lemurs, or the beaches scattered across the Indian Ocean. It is also the memory of an island that remained isolated long enough to develop its own relationship with nature, its people, and even the meaning of life. From highland villages, where ancestors are still regarded as part of the family, to forests filled with animals found nowhere else on Earth, Madagascar constantly gives you the feeling that you have entered a world moving to its own rhythm. And perhaps that is what makes this island more unforgettable than any postcard could ever be. If you want to keep exploring extraordinary places like Madagascar, subscribe, hit the like button, and tell me in the comments which country you want us to visit next.